So, mea culpa here. Over the weekend, it's happened to me a couple times, not really to me, but happened with me. I got into it a little bit with somebody over the comments, and I got a billion videos out there now, so it's hard for you to find the argument that I had. And I wouldn't say it's an argument, but it's more of a clash of wills kind of a thing. And it got a little bit heated, and it shouldn't get heated because I don't really have a dog in the fight here, right? We know this. There's always the pass line with odds versus the place bet holy war that seems to happen for whatever reason. And I get involved in this a lot because I teach and I show more line bet or more box betting because strategies are fun and it helps you think through the game. And I enjoy the algorithmic part of like, let's think through a strategy and find a better way to take advantage of what's random. I think it's fun. It's not always the most profitable, but boy, some people just get their heels dug in, and I'm like, you gotta just breathe a little bit, you know what I mean? We're like in this world where and Greg has said this too on his channel. It's like, my God, you can't say anything to anybody anymore. And people are they're right, man. That's it. This is the way that the world works, and you're an asshole if you don't agree with me, and that's the way it is. And you can't have any kind of conversation. Well, I'm a little tired of that, so I let this guy have it, probably unfairly so. And so unfairly so that I'm gonna come here this morning and we're gonna talk about these three ways of playing. Now, there's only two ways listed here, but I'll explain what I want to show. And it's better to explain at the table. And when I go to the table today, by the way, there's a new view for you to see. I got to turn it. I have a new camera that I'm going to turn on, which you'll see. Some of you who might have saw the new table view over the weekend, but I've added a thing to it. But I want to talk about and show you this kind of mindset of pass line with max odds versus place bets. And it's not just a 1-for-1. What I want to do is really take a look at from the same exposure point, from the same financial exposure. I want to see what these two things look like side by side. And I've done something similar before, right? I've done kind of a come bets plus place bets video where I say, hey, they both work. They both should be in your toolbox. You should know the goal of the players playing these things so that A, you can make adjustments to your own game, or B, understand what somebody else is trying to do. And I want to really talk through because I've gone back and I reread all the comments and I reread the emails that I've exchanged with folks about these two systems back to back. And again, there's a lot of dogmatism here, right? People are just got their heels dug in on one way is the only way to do this. And if you're a line better, you're a freaking idiot because you can't pick your number. And if you're a place better, you're a freaking idiot because you're giving up the house edge. You're both right. You're both right. You're idiots on all sides. We're playing a game that we're guaranteed to lose on, so we're all, I guess, morons. But let's look at the table, and I want to go through what these plays look like. And I put this screen up here just to remind you of the house edge on the bets, right? The pass line by itself, everybody says the flat pass line bet sucks, right? You do a $5 pass line, it goes to the 6, you get paid 1-for-1. That's awful. It's worse than the placing the 6. True, that payment is. But that bet in its entirety, if you incorporate and think about and don't dismiss the pass line part of it, the come out part of it, that bet in its entirety has a lower house edge than just placing the 6 and 8, right? Not by a lot. It's a 11-cent difference, right? It's 0.11% difference, okay? Not a lot of difference there, but there's a difference there. It's still a better bet. When you throw odds on it, it increases your house edge. But I have a caveat to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I want you to see your place bet, your place bet house edges, which are big. The 6 and 8 are almost on par with the pass line, don't pass line. The 5 and 9, 4%, brutal. 4 and 10, 6.67%, really brutal unless you buy it, which can bring it back down to earth a little bit. But let's look at what these all look like together on the table. I'm going to switch my view here. And I'm going to add in, hopefully, that other camera here. I didn't turn it on before I got up, so let's turn it on. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to play, and there you can see now my camera at the end here, the little square at the right side. If you're on your phone, you'll never be able to see this, okay? You'll never be able to see it. If you're on your computer or you watch it later, you'll see that right there, this is my landing zone right here. So you can see the dice while I zoom in on the table. I think the most important thing here is the betting, not the dice throwing. I'm not trying to be a controller, and I'm not trying to screw anybody off with the calling of wrong dice, but people will still complain that we're trying to cheat because you can't see the dice in the corner down here. So I put the dice cam up here so you can see the dice cam as they land. Again, I know on a phone it's going to be not very clear, but it's the proof that I'm rolling when I say I'm rolling when I roll. So what I want to do is I want to explore the way that these three people will bet, all right? And the goals of their systems. And I think that's important to understand the goals and the real differences between, I gotta get this thing not quite lined up right this way here. That's better. That's a little bit better. I gotta move this out. Sorry, I want to make sure this is lined up good for you. There we go. So the pass line with odds person is typically gonna do something like this. You're gonna have a $10 pass line. Okay, and that's the pass line with odds person right there. $10 pass line, and when the number hits or gets set, let's say we set a point of, I don't know, 9. Doesn't really matter what the point is. They're gonna drop max odds behind it. They're gonna drop $50 behind it, okay? And at this point, their exposure level is what it is. Now, they can't drop 50, they'll drop 40, this person. That's the most they can do. 3, 4, 5 table, they'll drop $40 back here. And 40 to win 60 plus 10 means they're gonna win $70. Now, that's great. There's $50 in exposure. To me, that's no different than this. Dropping $50 on the 9. There's no difference exposure-wise. There's no difference from a win percentage-wise, from a payout perspective. They're both going to pay the exact same. 50 pay 70 here, 50 pay 70 there. There's no difference. The difference is that this person has got the advantage here while the puck's off. They have a $10 advantage, 2-to-1 advantage when the puck's off, and then they're here. These two players here, potentially, their potential win is the same. Their potential loss is the same. There's no real difference between waiting for the number to get set and setting one yourself versus this guy once they're past the come out rail. Now, there's a 2-to-1 advantage, but there's also a little bit of risk in there on the come out. So this person does have to fight a little bit here, okay? But the folks who play this way versus the folks who play, and I'll put my across person out now, versus the person who plays. Now here, let's keep it the same. There's about, there's $50 out there. So this person, let's have them play close to that, as close as we can. We'll go not including the point, we'll do 50, 54, okay? So 54, maybe they'll grab the 9 and not the 4 or something, right? Maybe we'll do that. So 54 versus 50, if you look at exposure, it's about the same. The person who's betting across has the same dollar amount out here as this person does. The difference we talked about last week was this person has one number. They're a singular target. This guy here has got at least 5 targets, potentially 6 targets. If he takes a hit, he may expand out and grab a 6th target, okay? The real difference is the payouts, right? Here, although you have one target, you're going to win $70 when that thing rolls out, which is kind of a home run. You're going for a home run almost every single at bat. You're swinging for the fence every time. Whereas up in here, PJ called it last week. He said you're picking up nickels in front of a steamroller, which is true. The steamroller is the 7. It's coming. There's no stopping it. We know it's on the way. And you're picking up, on all these, you're picking up $14, nickels in front of a steamroller. It takes at least 3 hits to get even on this kind of a thing, which is, if in those 3 hits, the point happens to roll, from a financial standpoint, you're way behind. However, the player doing this, their mindset is not hitting a home run. It is. Eventually, their mindset is to hit some singles, right? To use a baseball analogy, get the bases loaded, get money out here, and in a longer roll, be able to capitalize more on a longer roll. This person is 100% playing, for the most part, most of you are playing this way, the long game way, right? If you're going to experience the same amount of exposure as that person does right there in terms of financials, you're looking to play this the long game. We're looking to say, and our discussions are always, how do you press? It's never how much money you're going to pull back and be happy with, right? There's nothing wrong with a $14 8 and pulling it all down and having a profit. We talked about that last week, right? $54 out here, a $14 win is about 23% or so, quick math in my head, profit on that shooter. That's good. It's a good result if you're going to pull it down, which we're not going to pull it down. So again, it's long-term vision, load them up, and let this long roll happen, which is where, again, I've made more money doing that than I have doing this. However, that's a one-shot $70 or whatever the thing is every single time. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to play this out a couple of ways, all right? And the way that we're going to do it is this. I'm going to have one player in the front, this guy here. He's going to do what we just said. We're going to go pass line with max odds 3, 4, 5 table assumed, okay? The player here in the middle, right? I've got the player in the middle set up to be place a number. Place a number. We're going to place the 6. He's going to place the 6 for $60. That's it. We're going to pick our number. The whole point of place betting versus come betting or versus pass lines, you can pick your number. We're picking our number. We're going to pick a 6. That's it. These two, this player here and this player here, the pick a number and the place bet guy, are both have one target. One target. The pass line guy, their target is whatever the dice say the target is. They're playing the pass line. The other person is picking their target. They're picking the 6. They're picking the best target. That's what they're going to do. And the person in the back is going to go all the way across, and we're going to do a 3 hits, 3 presses, and a collect. We're just going to go press, 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 and get out of here, and rinse and repeat, trying for 3 rolls, right, to get ourselves in profit. Potentially, we'll see how it goes. We might even stay out there. We'll see how this person wants to play it. But the idea here is the across better is looking for a longer roll to profit on versus the other two. This guy's only going to go out on the pass line. This guy here, he's going to take his 1 hit on the 6 if he can get it per shooter. When the new point gets established, we'll go out again. He's going to pull it down. He's going to go 1 hit and down. He's going to roll. Now, the decision we have to make here is, does this player work his bet? Okay. I think this player works his bet. I think he's going to be working the whole time because, again, the pass line player has this advantage of, winning on the pass line. What's going to happen is this guy here is going to win enough times on the come out to offset not winning on the come out. When the 7 or 11 shows up, he'll lose on the come out enough to offset this guy over here. They should about cancel out if we're just going to roll them out there live. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have this guy here in the middle. He's going to play a $60 6, and that's going to be his entire bet. Man in the middle. Man in the back, right? We'll run his bets here across the back. We're going to go across for the same amount of exposure that the pass line player has. He's going to be a $10 pass line. Whatever the point becomes, he's going to go max odds. This guy's going to match him as close as we can, dollar for dollar, across. It may end up he's going to bet only on the inside. We'll see. I mean, you'll see what I mean by that as we go. Let's just roll it out, and we'll see what happens. And again, I'll try and keep the dice nice and slow so that they stay down here in landing zone if I can do it. They will bounce back on me, as you know, but for the most part, let's keep ourselves zoomed in on the bets, and the dice will do what they do here. We're gonna come out now and just see what happens. And again, I don't view this as a this versus that kind of a thing. I view this as a how does the rhythm work kind of a thing. So there's a 4-1-5 for our first point, a 4-1-5. So this guy wins nothing. The player in the back there is going to do his $40 in odds, which is the most that he can do. So he's got 40 and 10, $50 in exposure. So the guy that's playing the back side, we're going to go about $50, which means we have 2 choices. We can go 54 across, or we can go 44 inside and call that the way he's going to do it. A little bit less exposure, but he's going to lose some targets. And again, the whole point here is to get targets. I'm going to go ahead and drop 50. We'll drop 55 and we'll go 54 across. We'll just not grab the point, or we'll not grab the 4 or something. We'll just pick a random. It doesn't matter which one we decide to not grab, but let's not grab something. Let's get white for that. And we'll get him set up here. We'll put him across the back. There's 10, 10, 10. We'll get him on there. We'll put him on the 4. Let's put him on the 5. Let's give him the 5. So I got 54 across for that player. He's not on the 4. we can maybe grab the 4. What we're going to do here, if we can get 3 hits back here, we're going to press the inside, press the mids, press the outsides, and then wind it down if we can. Okay. This guy here is going to take 1 hit and come back to his rack. He's going to be done in 1 hit for that session. We'll call a session a point. If we decide to come back out for the next point, we'll have that conversation. Here we go. Let's just roll it through and see if just the difference in exposure. Again, home run hitter, home run hitter. This is a home run hitter who didn't get to pick the pitch. This is a home run hitter hitting off a tee. Think of it that way if you're looking at baseball. This guy here is just trying to get a bunch of singles. We'll see what happens. Okay. There's a 5-4-9. So the only player who gets paid on a 9 is going to be the player who's playing across. He's going to get paid $14. What we're going to do is press the insides. We're going to take 12 of that money. We're going to press the inside numbers. So his 6 and 8 are now pressed up. He will take a couple of bucks back to his rack. Where's my dice? Here we are. And again, we're just looking at the rhythm of these guys. There's a 5-2-7. So everybody gets beat the same, right? On a 7 where nobody gets paid, everybody gets whacked the same. There was no advantage anywhere. These two at 60 and at 50 get whacked for a little bit more than they have crossed better, but that's not for any reason other than the amount that I chose to bet. To me, it's an even wash. They all got beat the same, the way I look at that. So I'm not going to indict anyone versus the other. It's just that the 7 came before anybody got any money. This player here had the opportunity to take money and chose not to. Here we go again. We're going to come out, pass line. We're going to come out here again with 60 on the 6. And that's it. And again, I realize that the $60 6 is more at risk than this player has, but it's the point. The point is we're gonna hit off a tee here, pick our number, and have the maximum potential gain is another 415. I didn't change the point last time, but we're back on a point of 5. There's going to be a $40 in odds back there. And again, our player back here is going to go the same exact thing as last time. We're going to go 54 across. Just give me a second to get that set up. We'll do the 5, not the 4. There's his 54 with his, actually I gave him too much change last time. He gets 1 penny in change. And here we go. Can we roll a couple of numbers here and see somebody get paid? They're all on different numbers, right? There's a 6-5 yo. This guy wants the 6. This guy wants the 5. This guy doesn't care what it is, as long as it isn't a horn number, which is what he gets, a horn number. We're, again, trying to get something happening before the 7. There's the point of 5. Beautiful. So, player in the 6 gets nada. The player here is going to get paid $14 on his place bet. And again, he's going to press up the 6 and the 8 by 1 unit each. Get his change. Player in the front who hits this point, right? The pass line player with odds gets the point hit, which is fantastic, right? His 40 pays 60 in the back, and he gets paid his 10 on the line. So that's a nice win. That's the home run. He got whacked once. He gets a home run once. And what happens here in these pass line plays is that you end up recouping your losses a hell of a lot faster. And that's kind of the big, I don't want to say the big selling point to it, but when you talk to folks who play this way, that's what they say. You're going to get beat. You're going to get beat down here. You can't not beat the 7. But when you do hit it, you hit it pretty good, and it makes up for your losses and then some. And again, you could now go to 15. If it was me playing it, I would go up a unit here. And then my next odds play can be higher. I can do 4 times 15 instead of 4 times 10. So my next odds play here could be at 60 instead of at 40. And that's kind of the idea here. You press up a little bit. We're not going to progress that person's bets. We're just going to go and rhythm, and that's going to be it. So here we go. This player, by the way, is still pressed up. We haven't seen a 7 yet. He's off with the puck. This guy here is on all the time. He's working every single roll. Player in the back is not going to do it. And there's your 617. So what happens, right? This guy here makes that on all the time decision, but he gets beat for the second time. It hasn't seen one thing happen yet. In the front, there's your house edge. There's your house edge, right? You win on the come out 7. That makes this bet better than that bet potentially. Okay, we'll take that win back to the rack. This guy here, undeterred, is going to try and get that 6 to pay off for himself, right? Here we go, coming out again. 5-2-7. Wow, awesome, John. Good rolling on this Monday. There's another win in the front. And again, that bet becomes better and better all the time. I look to say, and I do it on the don't pass too, when I win on a craps number here, that's a free bet now. This bet is free. When the number gets set, the odds, because they pay low house edge, also free. It's actually a pretty good play here. This poor guy here, though, is getting murdered, which, you know, happens. Let's do it. Let's come out to a clean number this time, shall we? 325. Boy, I'm hitting that 5, aren't I? 325. 325 is the number. Once again, on a point of 5. No changes here. No changes here. And we're going to go to $40 behind the line. There we go. Now, let's talk about house edge while we're doing this. Yeah, best house edge right here, right? I lowered the house edge of this bet, if you remember the last screen, down below 1%. By doing this, we have lowered the house edge to almost nothing. It doesn't change the winnability of the bet, right? The house edge here, 1.41. The house edge here, 0.03. Okay? I've lowered the house edge, but I have not changed the fact that this bet still has a 40% chance of losing. Right? We're only going to win, or I'm sorry, 60% chance of losing this bet. That doesn't change. Putting odds back here lowers the house edge, but it does not change the win probability of the bet. And I think that's a thing that we should all remember if you're a proponent of betting this way. And I say this all the time. The fact that the house edge is low, fine. Doesn't change the fact that bet still isn't a great bet, right? You're adding money to a bet you're more likely to lose. You're likely to lose this bet because it's a 5 against a 7, and you've added more money to a losing proposition. That's where I get that it lowers the edge, but it doesn't change the fact that that's a hard bet to come out and win. There's a 6-4-10. So our player on the end here is going to make a little bit of money on that, which is great. That's going to pay him $18. We can actually we'll do 20 for 2 is how we'll do it. We'll give $20 for 2 out of his rack. We're going to press up the 5 and the 9 to $20 each. So we've pressed the 6 and 8. We've pressed the 5 and 9. He's looking for another hit and maybe regress, maybe get out. He hasn't really done anything. He's the even Steven guy in the rack to this point. The other guy here are doing great. Our pass line player, awesome, gets another hit. He's going to get paid $70 again. He's going to get paid 50, 60 in the back, 10 in the front. This guy here on that point is going to get paid $28. There's 20. I'll do it in nickels so you can see it. There's $28. He's going to go ahead and make the 10 look like a quarter, or like the 10, 15, like the 4 look like 15, or rack 3. He's pressed up. His next one is bringing down. He's coming down on the next hit if he can get one. The puck's off. He'll be off. Our pass line guy is crushing it. He's doing really, really well. We've hit 2 points, which is good. Obviously, you want to hit your points. Leaving down the pass line, and he's racking up. Racking up. Guy over here has not hit a 6 or 8 yet. Right? Best bet in the house. He's hitting off a tee. Hitting off a tee, hasn't seen one dime come back to his rack. In fact, he's lost twice. 3 times. He's lost 3 times. There's another one, 6-1-7. This poor guy is working everything and has not hit a thing. So hitting off a tee, it's like first day of T-ball, I guess. He can't hit nothing. Let's get him back out there, though. Make sure I'm pulling money from the right rack. Sorry about that. He's going to be here. He has burned about half his bankroll trying to get one freaking hit, and he cannot get it. Oh, I didn't pay the pass line guy. Pass line guy gets paid again. Come out 7. Rocking it. There's a hard 10. Hopefully you can see that on both cams. Between the cameras, you can see all the dice. So there's a hard 10, a 5-5, hard 10. That'll be our point over here. And again, this guy here just needs one more hit, and he'll be done. There's a 6. Finally, we got a 6. All right, good. So the 6 happens. Oh, I didn't put his odds down. He can put 30 bucks at odds. 3, 4, 5 table, $10. Gets him 30 back there. Now, this guy is going to finally get paid. He's going to get paid 70 bucks. And again, per his strategy, he's done. 70 bucks, he's out for the shooter. That's going to be his way of playing. It's going to be pretty passive. It's a good win. It's not full recovery, but it's getting him back to health at least, right? This guy back here with the $18 6, he'll get paid 21 bucks. And mission accomplished. It took this person back here 3 shooters to get through 3 hits and down, if you can believe that, right? Now he's got a choice to make. How much money does he want to keep out here for the long shooter? And again, this is the trials and tribulations of an across better. We're looking to hit, set ourselves up for the long roll. Could this be the long roll? I don't know. But let's go down to 64 across and find out. Let's take this money back. We're going to go to 64 across. Okay? And let's see what we're pulling back to the rack. He started out with the 54 across bet. What he's pulled back to his rack is 55, 60, 65. He's got $68 coming back. He's got a little bit of profit. This guy has shown a profit, and he's playing for free. Essentially, this is what we say, right? When you're looking for this kind of play, you're like, hey, I'm playing for free now. I'm playing on house money. It took me 3 shooters to get to house money, but I'm playing on house money back here. This guy in front, because I rolled hot, has hit a couple of points and is already on. He was on house money before that even happened. This guy here, done. He got his 1 hit. He's playing it like a pass line better. 1 hit, and he's out till the next come out roll. He's going to restart after the next come out roll. Nice and passive. And there's a 4-2-6, which he would have been paid on. But again, his strategy is to play it like this guy. We're going to get one number at a high level per shooter. That's or per point. That's all he's doing. 1 number at a time per the point. Okay. In here, that'll pay 15 for 1. Actually, we'll do it at 14 bucks because we're gonna get pressed up. He gets paid 14 on a 6, and again for him, we're gonna go mid press. We'll just press to 6 by 1, like so, and he'll rack money. This guy here now is on the press and collect method. We'll do a single unit press. We'll do mid presses here on these from this point forward. Once you got set up with a little bit of profit, now you're gonna do a mid press. And again, the selling point to this is mid pressing or single pressing or whatever it is on a longer roll. The selling point to this is house edge. The selling point to this right here is let me pick my number and get the hell out when it rolls. Dice off the table. Here we go. There's your 7. So this guy avoids disaster. This guy avoids disaster. Essentially, he walks out of there with whatever that was. He went out with 54. He brought 68 back, and he won 18 bucks. So he took all those hits and won $18 out of all those hits, right? And that's where the person who does this every single time is calling this person a motorhead because same amount of exposure, brought back 18 bucks. Same amount of exposure, he's brought back 140 in the same rolls. In the same rolls, he won 140, lost the 70 that time, or the 40 that time. In the same rolls here, $18. Same rolls here. This guy here has gotten his butt kicked. Let's come back out again. And again, we're going to rock this. He's going to work it all the time. This guy's working. He's a working man down there. Here we go, coming out. 6, 3, 9. New point's going to be a 9. So again, we'll go 40 bucks in odds for that player there. Person up top is going to go to 54. We'll do it with reds here. We'll do 54 again. We'll just not grab the 10 this time. We'll pick everything but the 10 this time. There's his 54. Okay, he's set. Looking for 3 hits and down. This guy's looking for a 6. That guy's looking for a 9. Let's get it done. There's a 3, 2, 5. I am rolling some 5s this morning. That'll pay, let's do 15. We'll do 15 for 1. And we're going to drop $2 to press up our 6 and press up our 8. Again, we're going to press from the inside out here in the back. That's hit number 1 for him. Here we go. There's a 6-3-9. So again, the pass line guy today, I'm his best friend. Pass line player's best friend today. It's going to pay again 60 in the back for 40, 10 in the front. Here we're going to get paid again 15 for $1 on that 9. We're going to press the 9 and the 5. I'll give the 520 and the 915. That's totally fine. And this guy here gets nothing out of that deal at all. Let's bring all this back. This guy here is crushing souls today. Doing such a good job on the pass line. And you know I've had just as many days where I'm rolling nothing but 7s, where I would be taking this guy $70, right? Rhythm game. Craps is such a rhythm game. Here we go. Coming out for a new point. Another 9. Right back on it. 6-3-9 again. Okay, so he's going to go with $40. No changes up here. Again, we're looking for a 6. I've had no luck today with the 6s and the 8s. This poor guy here is just getting everything hit around him. This person here is looking for another hit. If we can do it. There's a 1, 2, 3, ace, deuce, no help. There's a 6, 2, 8, 6, 2, 8. Easy. It's going to pay 21. And again, we're going to grab the 10 for 15 and put 1 on top of the 4. He's pressed up all the way across now. His next hit is a come down hit. Okay. Nobody else gets any money. Here we go. That was a big roller. That's a 4-1-5. 4-1-5. That's going to pay $28. And again, this player comes down to 64 across. 1, 2. Okay, so what is he bringing back to his rack? Let's count him up. He started out with 54. There's 25. There's 50. There's 60 and 5 whites. So he's got $70 coming home. And again, he's looking at about a $15 actual profit here after all that work. But his rack is clean, right? His rack is clean. He's basically got a little bit of profit out of it. This guy here is still waiting. This guy over here is hopefully getting that point, getting rehit. Again, let's see what happens. 5, 3, 8. The 8's going to get paid. I got too many. No, I don't. I'm good. The 8's going to get paid $14. Right? We're going to go ahead and press it up by 1 unit. Half press. Bring that back to the rack. In his rack, by the way, this player here is even in the rack after all that work, right? And again, you got to remember this. After all this work, we've taken all those hits. We came down. He started out with 500. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 475. With what's out here, he's even after all that work. This guy over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. That's profit. So this player here is already in profit because we're doing so good with the rolls. This guy here, getting his ass handed to him. 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 5. Now here we are on the long roll. What you're looking for is that long roll. 15 for 1 out of the rack. We'll get a single unit press there. Come back to the rack. 5, 4, 9. So we did it again, right? This guy here, let's get paid here first. We'll do 15 for 1. From him. Press it by 1. Rack 10. He's even. Our pass line player. I'm his best friend. There's 70 more bucks coming back to him. So again, he's just going to rack profit here all day long. He's in the profit like nobody's business down there. He's got at least 100 plus all the reds that he's got. So he's doing, actually I'm gonna take these reds from him and get my bank filled back up again. 2, 3, there's 400 in reds. Or I'm sorry, 4 quarters in reds. So yeah, our pass line player today, doing great. $200 in profit back there on my rolls. This guy here is just barely in profit, right? There's 400, there's $500 essentially. He's got $54 in profit after all that rolling and playing it smart, right? We're spreading out, we're pressing up halfway as we go. He's got about $50 in profit. This guy here with the 6, not his day. Definitely not his day. He's still working to come out. He's still hoping for hope. Let's see what happens. There's a 516 on the come out. Finally, he gets it. He gets hit $70 here on the way out the door, which is great. And he's done. That's it for him, for that shooter. He's out. Going back to his rack. He's going to watch until the next point gets established. Our player in the front, we're going to play his odds out of his profit side. No need to dip into his rack. $50 max odds. So he already got paid on the 6 with a $60 bet. He got a 70. This guy here now needs the 6 to repeat for the same thing to happen. This guy here following the puck is just not coming on. There's a 4-1-5. I hope you can see the dice rolling. There's a 4-1, 4-1-5. So no help. The pass line player, the 6 and 8 guys out. 15 pays 21. We're going to half press it. We'll take 2 of those and come back here and make that be a quarter. And back to the rack he goes. And again, now he can actually start building up the profit half of his rack. Finally, he's got profit in his rack. This is starting bankroll. He's got $14 in profit in his rack plus what's out here. So there's the elephant graveyard waiting for the 7 to send him back to 0. Okay. Hard 4. That's great. That's going to pay $18. Half press it up. We can give it 10. Okay. And the question is, when do you stop? If you're this guy here, when do you stop? You figure, well, shit, I'm in profit. It's all profit play. It's all profit play. Everything I do here is going for the ceiling. That's what this guy's mindset is. This is the mindset of the across bettors. We're going for the long roll that this guy can't capitalize on. This guy cannot capitalize on a long roll. He capitalizes on one roll, right? So the advantage or the argument for this player here is I can win more on a long roll than you can. Well, this guy here has won 5 times. This guy here has won essentially nothing. He's taken all those hits and has nothing to show for it. So remember, when Greg talks about the elephant graveyard, when the pass line with odds guys talk about the difference here, again, this doesn't give you more winnability. It's only one target. If you're hot like we are today, we're hitting our target. Every time that target hits, it's $70 in the back and it's $10 in the front. He's just counting. This guy back here just counting chips, man. He's just bringing them in because the shooter is in rhythm with him today. This person here just gets paid as 14 for the first hit on the 6, right? Hope do a single unit press and bring a little bit more back to the house. Okay, let's get some of these whites out of here. We'll take 10 of them away. Okay, he's got about $30 in his rack plus whatever's out here. Now our other player can come back and play. He's going to come back out again, $60. Maybe he'll switch to the 8 now. He's got the 6 hit a few times. Do you want to stay with what's rolling or do you want to go with what's due? I don't know. Let's move him to the 8. We'll see what happens here. Come out. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. This guy here, completely off rhythm. Completely off the rhythm. We'll give 10 of his bucks down there to the guy on the pass line. Back he goes. Back he goes. I think the lesson learned here today, if nothing else, if you're going to do this, don't bet the come out. Don't be on. Don't be on the come out. Right? That's the lesson. Point's going to be 5. We'll come out here with $40. And I say this all the time, right? The dice don't know it's a come out roll. This is still 5 ways to win that bet. It's still a decent bet. Okay. Did I take his money? Yeah, I did. All right. Point's going to be 5. Here we go. 8. So here we are, 21. I'm going to drop a buck. We're going to press by 12, which makes it 30. He's pressed up. Now, what I typically do when I'm slow rolling it like this, when I'm doing half pressing, I'd like to get myself to 160 across and then be done. We're going to try and get into 160 across and be finished if we can do it. That'll be our goal there. 6-5 yo. 6-5 yo. There's a hard 8, pays 35. Okay. Now, again, we could be targeting this, right? I'll press the 9 up to a quarter, and I can bring a quarter back, or I can take this quarter, get nickels for it, and say, you know what? Let's get my 4 to a quarter. Let's get my 10 to a quarter. And I'm at 160 across with a nickel change. So he's worked his way, well, except for the 6. He has one more hit away from being 160 across and able to pull himself back, which is what we're going to do. 617 does not happen. And there it is. You work all that way. You did all this work to get to a goal, right? He did show profit, but look what he's got to show for that. All that work. 25, 45 bucks in the rack. The elephant graveyard, right? He did a lot of work to put himself in position to have a nice $160 score, nothing to show for it in the end. Just a pittance down here in the end. Of course, this guy gets whacked too, right? But look at the difference in the racks. Our 6 and 8 player got hammered. I'll bet you though, if we didn't work the come out roll, because he lost, every time he lost was on the come out roll, except for this last time here, he would probably be in profit if we didn't do that. Again, just putting it out there. Probably misplayed that today, but I wanted to get a sense of keeping yourself rolling all the time versus this guy here, right? I wanted to see if the house edge and the winnability of those bets would make a difference today. The big winner today was the pass line player, right? He actually benefited from me hot rolling today. I think if somebody has the roll tracker going, I think I did a pretty good job at rolling there. These guys earned good money on the pass line. And it's funny how a pass line happy table like that, let me go back to the camera here. Let's go back to here. A pass line happy table like we had today did not result in enormous wins for the guy in the box, right? Isn't that interesting? The player playing the box, playing a normal little inside out press and then a half press from there, pretty good rolling today, did not make any money, which is, you know, a function of when do you pull your money back? Number one, I said it earlier, you could just take a hit and come down every single time, and he would have probably been okay picking up those nickels. He probably would have made $100 or more picking up nickels the entire way through. But by trying to press, and get himself up to a position to score, he ends up making nothing. And how often has that been your experience at the table? We talk about that a lot. Having a goal, getting out when you should be getting out. I think that last roll where he got up to about 160, between the 7 out, the last 7 out, and that one had to be 9 or 10 rolls. And we got him up to a good point, but boy, we didn't sure get anything out of that, right? So there it is. There's an interesting little look, I think, at a thing. And so, Skill, you're saying I'm holding back the play 6 player. You're exactly right. And let's talk about why I did that. I didn't want to play the play 6 better like I would play the play 6 better. What I said was the pass line player is playing one number per shooter, right? He puts the pass line bet out, gets his odds, the dice decide what the number is, and he bets the number. That's it. The play 6 guy, I said, I'm going to play him with the same exposure, one number per shooter, period. That's it. I'm not going to spread him out. I'm not going to press him up. We're going to see, can I just pick my number versus letting the dice pick my number? That was the entire part of that test. I hope that made sense, Skill. If you can, cancel. If you can write me back, let me know that I explained that well enough, why I did what I did with him. I did not want to play him any more aggressively or non-aggressively. I just wanted to have him always working. The other guy's always working. One hit. Just one hit. I'm just trying to give those two are like my controls. If that makes sense. Like they're both the same amount of money, and that's it. So there it is. And again, I just explained why, right? The test here, the $60 6 person and the pass line with max odds person are the controls. They're both betting the same amount, one number per shooter. That's it. You're picking your number or the dice pick your number. That's the only test there. Because I wanted to give a house edge look at those two things. It's not about playing the 6 smartly. It's about what happens if it's one shot per? Because the folks who play the pass line with odds tell me all the time, it's only one number, but it's a home run every time it hits, right? I recover my losses faster. Well, can picking the 6 by itself do the same work? Can it recover its losses faster? That's what I'm trying to test on. So you're right. I would not normally play it that way. I would probably regress down. I'd probably take a $70 win on the 6 and go to a $30 6 and 8 or something like that. You're right. But again, not what I was testing today. Today's test was something totally different. I hope that makes good sense. Let me check out any questions if there are other questions in there too. So you're just saying, tell me to read it. So not trying to be rude, Skill, but that's what I was trying to do. That point of it was to be the what do you call it? The counterweight, I suppose, to the pass line bet. Just pick my number versus let the dice pick. Both players going for a 1 number home run, period. That's it. The person in the back was actually the person that we're kind of playing craps with and trying to do some different things. Hopefully that.